Roll.
Rem Kassoon.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Jean-Francois. Summers is absent. Witt. Here. Kleiner.
Here.
Burr. Massey.
Here.
President Rodriguez.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Approval of minutes.
We have the minutes from the Common Council meeting from February 16th, 2016.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes? Alderman Massey, second by Alderman Consoom. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Correspondence.
We have two correspondents tonight. These were not in your packets. They're new that I just received this afternoon. One is from the Elks, and they are on May 21st, 2016, asking for a National Angelman's Day, and this is going to be a walk for awareness to raise money for that cure.
Forward to Public Works.
We have also a letter here from the Sutton Hill. They're asking to create additional defined parking spaces on their property by striping the inner portion of Underhill Road.
Forward to Public Works.
That is all for correspondence.
Mayor.
Just doing the proclamation now? Yes. Could the folks from ShopRite please come on up? I'll have Mr. Courtney introduce the infamous former store director of the Dolson Avenue ShopRite and the current store director of the 211 ShopRite. Introduce who's with him this evening.
Mr. Courtney is a great leader.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. This is Annette Cruz. She's the dietitian in the Walk Hill store and Middletown store, and Vinny is the shopper advocate in the Walk Hill store, Middletown store. I was thinking if you were paying attention.
Close enough, Bob. Yeah, we're all friends, right? First, I'd like to begin by just once again thanking ShopRite. They're not only as a supermarket, local supermarket, but as a corporate entity for all they do here in Orange County, specifically in the Middletown Walk Hill area, not only with veterans, but with assisting in all our programs, from the fireworks sponsorship to our cleanup event where they bring, water and soda and snacks, and it's just a wonderful organization. And we're here tonight to recognize or to give a proclamation regarding something that me, Tom Burr, and Council President Rodriguez could probably pay a little bit more attention to, and that is the declaring the month of March as National Nutrition Month. Do you disagree?
I agree.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So we had a meeting with ShopRite, and they're obviously making a major effort in this area to bring some public awareness to this issue. So what we did tonight is we have a proclamation, and I'll read it. Whereas food is a substance of life by which life is sustained, and whereas the type, quality, and amount of food that individuals consume each day plays a vital role in their overall health and physical fitness, and whereas there is a need for continuing nutrition education and wide-scale effort to enhance healthy eating practices, and whereas I encourage all citizens to join the campaign and become concerned about the nutrition and the nutrition of others in the hope of achieving the optimum health for both today and tomorrow. Now, therefore, I, Joseph M. DiStefano, Mayor of the City of Middletown, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the laws of the City of Middletown, New York, do hereby proclaim the month of March 2016 as National Nutrition Month in the City of Middletown. And we'd like to present this to Annette and the ShopRite crew and thank them for this awareness program, and also thank them for all they do for the City of Middletown.
Thank you. I would first like to thank Mayor DiStefano and the City of Middletown for inviting me this evening. I am honored to be here tonight and for Mayor DiStefano to name March National Nutrition Month for the City of Middletown. My name is Annette Cuevas. I'm one of the registered dietitians with ShopRite Supermarket's Retail Dietitian Program. This is a free program that provides nutrition services to our customers, associates, and surrounding communities. I have been at the ShopRite of Dolson Avenue for over 2 years now and have grown to love the City of Middletown. I'm proud to have partnered with local organizations such as Orange Regional Medical Center, Middletown Community Health Center, Middletown YMCA, Toro College, and the Mulberry House Senior Center, just to name a few. The goal of ShopRite Retail Dietitian Program is not only to educate members of our community on the importance of nutrition, but in hopes of inspiring change that can positively impact their health and wellness. In the world of dietetics, and for dietitians everywhere, the month of March is our time to shine. Initiated in March of 1973 as a week-long event, National Nutrition Week became a month-long observance in 1980 in response to growing public interest in nutrition. National Nutrition Month is a nutrition and education information campaign sponsored annually by the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. The campaign is designed to focus attention on the importance of making informed food choices and developing sound eating and physical activity habits. The theme for 2016 is Savor the Flavor of Eating Right, which encourages everyone to take time to enjoy food traditions and appreciate the pleasures, great flavors, and social experiences food can add to our lives. How, when, why, and where we eat are just as important as what we eat. Registered Dietitian Day, celebrated on Wednesday, March 9th, 2016, increases awareness of registered dietitians as the nation's food and nutrition experts who can translate the science of nutrition into practical solutions for healthy living. Registered Dietitian Day recognizes the dedication of registered dietitians as advocates for advancing the nutritional status of Americans and people around the world. Once again, I would like to thank Mayor DeStefano and the City of Middletown for honoring March as National Nutrition Month and recognizing registered dietitians. It is truly a pleasure and an honor to be here this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, for the good of the city, if anyone would like to address this council, please step forward.
Hi, I'm Maureen Kelly. I live at 69 Railroad Avenue. I just wanted to come by and thank everybody here for their help. I really appreciate it, and it doesn't cost anything to say thank you, and maybe it'll make it easier the next time for you to help somebody else if it's shown that it's appreciated. The bed bug problem is being taken care of. They're on the second treatment today. That's why I had to be out of the house till 8 o'clock. And again, I just wanted to thank you all very much. I never would have gotten it done without you. And I was so angry that night. I'm sorry the way I did it. That is not me. It really isn't. I'm 66 years old, and I have never experienced that level of anger in my life, ever. And I don't ever want to feel that again. Again, I thank you very much. I don't mean to be rude, but I'm just getting over pneumonia, so I'm just going to go home and have a cup of tea. Again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else would like to address the council?
I have no cane. I have a lot of pride, though. Hi, my name is Susan Depew. Most of you know me as the litter lady. I'll call it pride. Anyway, I would like to invite all of the people from the city of Middletown to join us for a day of Middletown Pride. Last Wednesday, the Pride Committee met for the first time this year, and it officially set the date for the first annual Middletown Pride cleanup event to be held on Saturday, April 23rd, 2016, the day after Earth Day. It will originate at Festival Square, as we have done so in the past, and members of our committee will help volunteers sign in, and then the volunteers will collect a shirt, which will be provided for them to keep, a grabber to pick up the garbage through reach, gloves, and a garbage bag or two. And each garbage bag will have a label that'll be identifiable by the Public Works Department, because they will then be asked to put them on the street corner after they pick up the litter. What a time to talk about litter if we just heard about the storm sewers with litter. This has been my pet peeve for 5 years. Each year I stood up here and asked Now I'm asking you to ask other people to come. In the past, we have had from 40 to 220 people show up. One year we had almost 500 when we had all the students from Middletown High School Athletic Department show up. I'm asking for 1,000 people to show up. It's going to be overwhelming, but it can happen if everybody gets on the phone and calls somebody else. And you get everybody from your family to spend the day after Earth Day cleaning up the earth in Middletown. It's about time that we have a city that is clean forever. I would love it. I'm 72. I don't want to do this the rest of my life, but I will do it until I have no more energy to do it. So I'm asking you to get the energy that I've gotten back in the last 12 months after my surgery and put it forth and bring Middletown back to the level of pride that we are all so proud to have as our home. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to address the council? Okay, reports of department heads, Economic Development Commissioner.
Good evening, everyone. It's nice to see Sue back, and we're looking forward to the cleanup, and it's a sign of spring and things to come. Our department is working hard on preparing for the spring and summer events. Eileen and Stephanie are working with the bid district and Park and Rec and preparing summer concert series, the Stars and Stripes events, and all other kinds of events that will be going on for the summer. Also, I just want to remind everybody out there that the Community Development Department has an active housing rehab program. So for qualified homeowners out there, we have grants and loans available for rehabbing your home. For instance, new roof, siding, windows, and so forth. So call our office, come by, and see if you qualify. And we're actively taking applications as well at this moment. So again, give our office a call or stop by. And that's all I have for this evening.
Any questions for Maria? Thank you, Maria.
Thank you.
Corporation Counsel.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to report that today, well, actually Friday, but it was confirmed today by the county clerk, we've completed the transfer of 14 properties that the city took over at tax sale, completed the transfer to the CDA, so now the CDA has a portfolio of 15 properties that they can develop and then transfer to some homeowner who wants to commit to staying here in Middletown. And the other side of that is we're going to be saving approximately $50,000 a year in taxes that the city would have to pay otherwise by the transfer to the CDA, which is a tax-exempt entity. So I just wanted to pass that on to you. Any questions?
For Rich? Thank you, Rich.
Thank you.
Fire Chief.
Good evening, everybody. This month we had 90 calls for the month. We had a second alarm fire on Mountain Avenue in the beginning of the month, and we had a third alarm fire on Sunday on West Conklin, where the family lost their home. So, and also we have a resolution on the agenda for tonight for the LoSAP Service Award. Look forward for your support.
Any questions for the Chief? Chief, can you just tell us the process on the LoSAP program?
It's a length of service award program that was started in 2013, or actually 2014. This will be the second year for it. Every member has to make 50 points. If you earn 50 points, $700 goes into an account through a company called Penflex. And at the age of 60, the money is paid to from the city. It goes into basically an account. At the age of 60 years old, the amount of years times the $700, you get a check at the age of 60 years old. At that point, you have to pay the taxes on it. At the age of 60, if you continue to make 50 points after the age of 60, it pays you out every year that you make the 50 points. In order to make the points, you have to make 10% of the calls on the firematic side, and then the civil side, you have to make meetings and drills. There's also a miscellaneous category, which is like work details, getting ready for the parade, things that you do within your own company, and there's also outside training. If you do training at the Orange County Fire Training Center or you do training at Montour Falls, you get credit for that as well.
So when a fireman goes to the scene, he has to initial his name on a run sheet?
Yes. Every apparatus, every company that responds to the scene has has paperwork that has to be filled out. Every member that shows up at the scene has to sign in. They have to sign in their own name or their own signature next to their name in order to receive credit. At the end of the call, the senior officer has to list how many members were at that call.
And then at the end of each month, those run sheets get put together into a report?
There's a LoSAP committee that meets on the third Thursday of every month, and every captain has to hand in their report to the LoSAP committee. The LoSAP committee then, and our only job is to enter the information that's given to us.
And
We
then-
don't adjust anything, we don't do anything but enter what's given to us.
So when the committee then puts it together, where does it go from there?
That gets sent to John Numchuck, it's filed with the city, and the end-of-year report goes to Penflex.
And then that's what we're voting on today?
And that's what you're voting on tonight, yes.
Thank you for the report. Any questions for the fire chief? Thank you, chief.
Thank you.
DPW commissioner.
Good afternoon, good evening. I want to start with the resolution before you tonight for establishing citywide spring cleanup. Every year the Common Council will have to approve this effort, and we would appreciate your support for that. And the agenda will be published in the local newspaper about which word is going to be picked up first, and then it's going to be on our website. And we have also this year requested to have an electronic pickup citywide, not pickup actually, drop off. So the city of Middletown, DPW, will have the recycle center in there open on that day that you will be approving tonight. And residents only of the city of Middletown will be bringing one item, like a TV or computer monitor or what have you, and then we will receive it from them, and we will have to contract with a private hauler specializing in these electronics to come and dispose of it at a cost to the city. Another item before you tonight, as you know, the mayor has appointed a committee of residents of the city of Middletown to work for New York Rising grant to find the most suitable projects for this grant. We also have our own input as DPW, Department of Public Works, on the projects to be implemented. And there was an RFQ in there that was advertised. Our qualification requests for qualification packages were evaluated. 3 firms were selected out of, I believe, 8 or 9 firms that submitted, and they were interviewed. Committee of 3 persons in there, 2 volunteers, residents of the city of Middletown. Chief Winner, who's here all the time, every evening. He's here too tonight, and he did a lot of work. And Jeff and Jim Burtis. Jim Burtis, sorry, Jim. And really, there was quite a bit of work in there, and we consulted obviously with the mayor throughout the process. New York Rising consultant was with us, and before you tonight, you're going to have the committee has selected RBA They are consulting engineering group from New York, and we're hoping that they will get used to what all the studies that has been done, verify them very quickly, and as not to spend too much more money on more studies, and hopefully we can get to do some beneficial project and construction in the city of Middletown to improve the flooding situation. One of the and the drainage issues in the city. One of the projects is going to be daylighting the brook from Academy Avenue, exploring it, not necessarily that it's going to be done, but exploring it and studying it and evaluating daylighting the Manhagan Brook from Academy Avenue to Genung Street. Another part of the project is to study the Draper Brook, find out all the bottleneck in there, and any issues that are within that culvert that will cause water to flood Wickham Avenue by the Townsend Building, and Wisner Avenue as well. During major storms, these areas, they get flooded and you cannot travel through Wickham Avenue or Wisner Avenue. So that's where we are. If you approve the selection, then the city, the mayor, myself, and New York Rising Committee will enter into negotiation about the cost of doing this consulting engineering, the design, and to oversee the construction. So we would appreciate your support. Another item today was the deadline for submitting a state revolving fund funding application for Sterling Street Sewer Phase 2, which is basically the sewer line from Grant Street it goes through the backyards of different homes and crosses many streets, including Washington and Houston, until it discharges into Sterling Street Sewer. And also, another part of this project will be Wisner Avenue in there under the railroad. There's a semi-collapsed section of a sewer pipe in there that we're going to have to do some boring and insert casing pipe and so on and so forth to replace the failing sewer line under the railroad tracks on Wisner Avenue. We have $150,000 grant from New York State revolving fund, and the additional money is going to be funded by low interest loan. Another item on the agenda, we have advertised that Route 211 by Pilgrim's Estate is going to be shut down for exploration in relationship to a project for replacing the box culvert that crosses under 211 just between Pilgrim's Estate entrance and city line. And that project, the road was closed between 7:30 this morning, and the work was completed about 1:30 in the afternoon. And there will not be any closure or any more work for tomorrow. But sometimes in April, the work is going to start full speed, and the road may be shut down for a few weeks. So it's a DOT, New York State DOT project. It's not City of Middletown project, but we're lending our support and whatever we can offer in there, because we have our major water mains, 20-inch lines and 24-inch lines. They pass in the vicinity of that culvert, and we want to make sure that they are well protected and taken care of during the construction. But we'll keep you posted about the detour, the upcoming detour on 211. If you have any questions for me.
Any questions for the commissioner? Thank you, Jacob. John, city clerk.
Yes, on tonight's agenda, as Maria said, spring is coming, and the first thing for spring is the Little League Parade. So that you'll be approving for closing the roads on that, and that's April 17th at 11:30, and that starts at Highland Avenue to Watts Park. Also, there's the Easter egg hunt that's going to be on March 26th at Phantom Davidge Park. And also some of the other upcoming events, the Ruthie Dino Run, the Classic 10K, Dare Day, Latin Festival. All the new dates for 2016 are on the website if anybody's interested in that, and there'll be more detail to come on that. Also, with the warmer weather, we're getting more yard sales now. Anybody who has a yard sale in the city of Middletown must get a permit in the city clerk's office, and all the information is on our homepage on the website. That's all I have.
Any questions for John? Thank you, John. Mayor?
Good evening. You touched on some of the happenings that are going on in Middletown with from the Little League Parade. On the cleanup, the spring pride cleanup, I don't know if Sue had mentioned the times. I believe we're meeting, starting at 9 a.m. and going to 1 p.m. And people can come any portion of that time. You're not committed to the whole time. We're hoping for a huge turnout. And as Sue said, she missed last year. We did miss her, but she was there in spirit. But it's a great community program, and we hope as many people as possible can attend. We'll have equipment, gloves, pickers, and bags, and shirts, I believe. But we'll also looking to identify from the council members any specific streets that you think need to be done in and around the city. I know Webb Road's always a popular one, and some of the major boulevards, and so we'll be looking for that input as we move forward. Jacob touched briefly on the New York Rising project, and I just want to share with you one of the concerns I had about the selection, not the quality. I think all three applicants were highly qualified applicants. My question to the gentleman from the New York Rising who was assigned here was that a lot of the preliminary work was already done by engineering firm A, and how much of our grant would be eaten up by a new company coming in, and what responsibilities do they have, and I assume there's a lot of responsibility, to confirm the previous work that was done, and how much of that $3 million will be eaten up by additional studies. So he ran it up the ladder to his boss, the regional representative. We've been contacted by both, and they have assured us that what we're voting on tonight is only the authorization to negotiate. So we're not approving the company. They have certain standards that they will pay. They didn't give us a number because I assume it's based on volume, but that if they can't negotiate what is a fair agreement, so if the engineering firm wants, I'm just picking a number out of the sky, 30% of the $3 million to bring the program up to to their current standards, then I think that would be a foolish thing, and we would recommend they move on to the next engineering firm. So we'll keep you, there will be another vote. My understanding is that tonight it's just authorization to negotiate. If we don't like the negotiations, then we can go to another company, or the next company down the line. It's an important issue. All three companies are very highly qualified, though. Update on the King Street project. You have a few change orders, all within budget. Nothing major, and I believe we're going to be moving the clock now across the street to the park area. It wasn't. We met with the contractor today. Myself, Chris Gross, Maria Bruni, and our engineering representative. And matter of fact, they made the decision before I got there, so that was easy. Is that it will have more visibility over by the walkway there. So if you see, that's a slight change of plans, but I think an improvement to the project. I also want to thank Chief Lewis for his LoSAP report and to congratulate all the members who met the LoSAP qualifications for 2015. I believe it's close to 30, or in the area of 30 people who have met the benefit. As I mentioned in my State of the City, we had 17 additional firefighters join this year, and hopefully the program will grow and grow and grow. I also wanted to acknowledge Senator Bonasek. We did receive a confirmation of the $125,000 grant for Woolworths. We are beginning that project with the asbestos abatement. I've also have an application into Assemblywoman Gunther for additional funding there. That project has grown not only in cost but in impact, going across the street with the Orchard Street acquisition, the trail now coming through, additional parking. We're looking at doing the pervious surface in the parking area, as Kevin Sumner mentioned. So it's the more money obviously we get from state government, the less we have to shell out on a local level. But the project is growing, and it's also being funded by some local organizations. Some of the downtown projects, like the Middletown Industrial Expansion Corporation, which is private money coming into both projects. I'd like to also thank Kevin Sumner for his presentation earlier at the committee meeting from the Orange County Soil and Water Conservation. The MS4 community issue is being handled by Jacob and Rich, and it's a lengthy process. And I know Kevin has worked with us on grant applications in the past. We're looking forward to working with him on others in the future. But it seems a little tedious, but when you see the film and the slides that he presented, you can see some of the erosion on the banks, and that's something that we've experienced in the past and have ignored, basically, with him on Hagen Creek going through West Main Street. And I'm glad that, not we, I mean, people prior to us, although some of us have been around a while. But the issue is now it's being addressed and being looked at. So I think it's an important part of our overall plan for quality of life in the city, controlling flooding. I believe during this last major storm, we did have a little bit of a surcharge on Sterling Street, not a lot, but the overall flooding was really under control for the most part. And last but not least is the editorials and the story in Sunday's paper. I continue to get phone calls regarding the school district issue and the swatting. And I need to reassure people that, number one, City of Middletown, Town of Wallkill, and the Middletown School District are all on the same page regarding swatting. We have allocated whatever necessary resources the police department feels they need, but the lead agency basically on this now is the FBI. Senator Schumer was in town, not for that issue, but it turned into that issue, and addressed some of the issues that he can help with on the federal level. Yesterday, I spoke with Senator Gillibrand's aide, and I know she called Council President Rodriguez because he has some personal insight into what's going on here in the city, and he expressed his concern about the swatting. But as you know, as I laid out my State of the City address, and which I think was a little bit unfairly reported in the original article, and Dick is my friend, and he's here, and I'll say it in front of him. And but at no point during my State of the City did I imply that school resource officers will impact swatting. And it was reported that way. The editorial writer took it and ran with it. They refer to it as cops in schools, and the editorial, I think, came to a conclusion that we don't need cops in schools. Well, I called the editorial department the next day. I had a nice long conversation with them and let them know that, A, we all are on the same page, that my disagreement with the school district has been the impact on these kids and on their families, and that I felt that the school district should be looking to do other things, and one of the things that I know works and absolutely works nationwide are school resource officers. They are not cops in schools. These are police officers who are trained not only in law enforcement, they're informal counselors, they're emergency managers within the school. They play a whole host of roles that I think kids 7, 8, 9 years old in these impacted schools need. They need to see a security figure, a law enforcement person in those schools to feel comfortable. If they can't feel comfortable and safe, they're not going to learn. We won't know the real impacts on learning probably for a couple of years because of testing. But I can tell you, I've heard from parent after parent, some parents who we all know have kids in counseling. Kids are refusing to go to school. So it's not a small problem, or as the record editorial department told me the first day is, kids forget about these things the day after it happens. That's not true. At the same time, I thank them for running the My View and giving the other perspective. And I spoke to them after that, and they did recognize, after reading the school petitions, even reading Dr. Eastwood's own My View, that there are emotional consequences to what's happening here, and that we as a community need to stand firm and strong with Wallkill, with the school district, to combat this. I think we had Senator Schumer has assured that he's submitting some type of request to the FCC to try to open this information up, make it available to local law enforcement, at least to the FBI. But we need to stay on top of it. I also was a little taken back by Dr. Eastwood's comment that my comments during the State of the City would trigger another response from whoever's doing these types of things. And unfortunately, I think the next day or the day after, there was another bomb scare. At the same time, Dr. Eastwood and Supervisor Depew are holding press conferences with Senator Schumer. So I dismiss that on both issues, that us talking about it, we have a responsibility to talk to the parents, to talk to the community, and let them know, A, what we're doing to a certain extent, and B, to reassure parents and do anything we can to reassure parents about what's happening regarding this incident. We need to stand strong with them, and I'm willing to do that, and I think we've demonstrated that. But at the same time, I think we need to take some extra measures to reassure the parents, because I can't imagine what would go through my mind when my kids were in school, that if I heard on 911 or read on social media that there was an active shooter in my child's school, it would absolutely drive me nuts. We saw yesterday throughout the country 2 more school shootings. So it is, besides the swatting being an epidemic, school shootings are also an epidemic. So we need to do more in the area of security and to make people and parents feel comfortable, but more important, make kids feel comfortable and safe. So I'm going to stay on the SRO argument. I'm going to keep pushing. I went to Albany on February 9th, I believe it was, to lobby Senator Bonasic and Assemblywoman Aileen Gunther to address the tax impact where we can possibly remove SROs from the property tax cap that stops that argument, either SROs or teachers or SROs. If you have SROs, you can't have ROTC. Again, I dismiss that kind of argument because it's one we hear annually here, that we have to make a choice between this or that. Senator Bonasic's response was he thought, based on his analysis of the Middletown School District financial situation, that we have more than adequate funds to do it now because it's a minuscule amount of the budget. But I'll let him make that argument, even though I agree with him. I think it's a small amount of money that we should be doing. The reason for the exemption from the property tax cap is that they cannot commit, the city cannot commit, and it doesn't have to be city police officers, by the way. The other thing that Dr. Eastwood said, we're trying to shift the cost of police officers from Middletown to Walk-Hill taxpayers. That's nonsense. First of all, the majority of the schools are in the town of Walk-Hill. They can be the Middletown police officers if the other agencies do not have the ability to provide that service. But then again, they don't. They can be state police, they can be sheriff, they can be town of Walk-Hill police in those areas. So I would like to have the discussion on a different level on what's best for the kids and not to argue about a few dollars and not to misrepresent my position on these things, but I'm going to continue to have the discussion. And you won't believe the amount of inquiries we're getting from parents regarding this type of thing. So it's obviously a concern, should be a concern, and we should do all we can to at least have some type of school resource officer presence in those schools. So that's all I have for this evening.
Any questions for the mayor? Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Reports of Alderman Massey.
Thank you. First, I'd like to thank ShopRite for coming this evening, and it seems ever since I've been on this council, every time we have a function in the city of Middletown, you people are always there helping out, and whether it's the city of Middletown or Community Health Center, I see you all the time. I know I appreciate it, and I'm sure every elected official certainly appreciates it, and the people of the city of Middletown, so thank you very much. On the spring Pride cleanup, the mayor did steal a little bit of what I was going to say. I attended that meeting along with Jerry Kleiner, and one of the things that Sue asked me to do, and it's asking the rest of the council, prior to the cleanup day, if you in your ward would put together a list of streets and get it to us, we'll make sure that they're taken care of. And finally, last week I saw this article in the Record on Narcon training. About 3 months, maybe 4 months ago, there were probably 15 or 16 of us from the city of Middletown. The mayor was one of them. I was there, and a number of other people that work either in City Hall or employees of the city of Middletown. We took this training. Now, with the advent of heroin, and it just seems like it's getting worse and worse, this training, and anyone can do it, believe me. If you'll take the time, I guess they're having another workshop, and it's going to be Tuesday, March 8th, at the Bullville Firehouse from 6:30 to 8:30. I carry in my vehicle a kit, and I'm sure the mayor does, and everyone else who's taken this. This can absolutely save lives, and it's not a very difficult thing to do, so I would encourage, I was glad that the article was in there, I'm glad that they're having the workshop, and I would encourage everyone to get involved in it. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Burr?
Thank you. First, I would thank Sue for coming back. Sue, you're a great asset to our litter committee, and we do appreciate everything you do for us. I guess I'll be going to ShopRite and getting some counseling with me and the mayor, I guess.
We'll go together.
That's all I have this evening. Thank you.
Alderman Kasum?
Good evening. I guess I'll start with ShopRite, and I don't know why you left me out, because I think I could use a trip there as well, but thank you for that. ShopRite, I want to say thanks to you as well. You guys have always been a partner to the city. You support everything that happens here, from the fireworks to Night Out, all of our events, Dare Day. You support our kids' activities and sporting programs, so I just want to thank you for always being such a great partner to this community and the people who live here. So thanks to you, and you deserve your award, and I hope you can make us all healthier people. I'd like to also thank the fire department for their response to the structure fires on West Conkling and also Mountain Avenue. Those are both third war fires, and I thank you for protecting the properties that surrounded these fires and preventing them from being worse than they could have been. So we appreciate paid and volunteer for all that you do to keep us safe. I wanted to let everyone know that the Neighborhood Watch will be having their first meeting of 2016 next Tuesday, right here at 7 p.m. I encourage residents to come and join us and bring any questions or concerns regarding the community to this meeting. We'll have representation from the police department here, myself and Alderman Kleiner. It's a good opportunity to address any issues you might be having in your neighborhood, so I hope to see everyone as the weather warms up. I do appreciate the mayor's efforts to assist in having SROs return to our schools, and also to compel the FCC to assist with dealing with these swatting calls. I have a first grader in Maple Hill who spends a lot of time sitting in a corner with her classmates. It's a disruption to their education, and certainly their patterns of life over there. So I appreciate this. Also, in light of the weapons that were found at the high school last week, I think we could all agree, District, Wallkill, Middletown, that pursuing the SRO would be something that we can all benefit from, I think, in every school at this point. We could use them. They're an asset, and anything we can do or I can do to assist, I will do. That's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Johnson?
Thank you. Well, clearly, ShopRite is an omnipresent force, and we always appreciate every time we get to see you helping us out in the city. The New York Rising, I want to thank the committee. It's the gift that keeps on giving, apparently, New York Rising. I also want to thank Jacob and the mayor for their vigilance, particularly with this idea of we spending more money on administrative costs than on water remediation efforts. And clearly, the Third Ward residents have a lot to benefit as we remediate the Monhegan Brook. I lived next to it for 30 years. I didn't realize I would think about it so much as I do in the last 2. But that's a good thing. SRO. Some may know I was affiliated with the school district in my past. I think perception is reality. I'm not about to tell the school board how to spend money. But I do think that perception is reality, and that people will feel safer if there is a presence. There are a lot of dynamics that enter this conversation here in the city of Middletown, and we'll leave those aside. But I think it is always worthy of consideration. And whether it's a good idea, bad idea, we're not the policymakers, but I think it's worthy of consideration, and it's worthy of discussion and or clarification as to why it can or cannot take place. Just my thoughts. I'd like to talk about animal stuff. I'd like to talk about the Humane Society of Deer Park. They had a good spread in the Times Herald Record recently. I've been affiliated with them for about 3 years, along with Dr. Richie Dubinsky in Milford, Pennsylvania. We became involved. The society had kind of a meltdown organizationally years ago. The attending doctor severed her relationship with the organization. The longstanding director was forced to resign. The board had a little bit of a meltdown, my word, not theirs. I've worked with 3 directors since then. Sue Beecher, who was featured in this article, has really taken the bull by the horns and done a lot of good work. I interact with the organization on a weekly basis. And that impacts the city of Middletown because we contract both with the Humane Society of Deer Park and Middletown. And when ACO Jimenez picks up an animal, he really needs to find a place to put the animal. And these contracts help us out quite a bit. So my congratulations to Sue. Alderman Massey asked me to clarify what's happening with the TNR program. I spoke with Becky, who's the acting director at Pets Alive. They too have had some administrative changes. Becky reminded me that in 2015, they treated 104 cats. 75 of them found homes. 24 of them or whatever were placed back in their, what we call a colony. You may have remembered back when the governor introduced the idea that dogs could be in restaurants, he also said that the idea of TNR could not be funded at the state level. I kind of followed that up. He was following a regulation with respect to animal abandonment, saying if you catch the animal and spay it and put it back where you found it, you were abandoning the animal. Clearly, the animal welfare community does not agree with that point of view. And I'm not sure where it all stands, but certainly we appreciate the TNR efforts and we will continue to support them. Lastly, on the animal front, I wanted to call attention, it was in the media today, of a case that was recently heard in the city of Middletown with a dog owner who, through a jury trial, was found guilty of animal cruelty and will be sentenced on April 13th. I was the attending veterinarian for that conversation, and I worked closely with Assistant DA Kate Bellingham. It was her first jury trial. She was quite excited and nervous about it. She was also assisted by Luisa Fuentes and Liz Schultz, who were co-counselors, I imagine they would call themselves. The press reported today, or yesterday, that the defendant was found guilty, and I think that's a good thing for the animal welfare community. In his press release earlier today, District Attorney Hoovler said, "When we share our lives with animals, we owe these animals a special duty of care, since they can't care for themselves under our roofs." I think this recent court case demonstrates the fact that the residents of the city of Middletown and the seated jury hardly agree with that idea, and I congratulate them for their decision. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Witt.
Thank you very much. I also would like to hop on the ShopRite bandwagon as well. Thank you so much for everything you all do. You know, it always seems like anytime anything needs to be done, that you folks are right there at the forefront, and that's a heck of a thing for community service. So I thank you. I know everyone else has as well. Our second ward meeting is March 14th at 7 o'clock right here. Last time we had 10 people. So our crowd is building, and it's very informal, and we invite you to come out. You don't just have to be from our ward. We're not trying to steal anybody's thunder. But some people like to come out, and we just talk about everything, not just our ward, our city as well. And we're pretty happy with the way it's developing, Jerry and I are. So I hope you all consider coming out on the 14th. As far as the annual spring cleanup weeks, please check our website to find out when your week is, and also what you can and cannot put out. There is very clear, specific rules. I know last year the televisions and electronics, or televisions were not allowed out. I know that's the same thing. This year, people were fined and said, "Wait a minute, how did this happen?" And even though the mayor and Jacob were saying it, people, "Well, I didn't know." So please look and understand that we do have rules here specifically that we need to take place. So.
That's state law.
Oh, I'm sorry. My apologies. That's state law. Thank you, Mayor. But people last year were saying they didn't know about it, but please check and see all the details. It's a very good program. So thank you very much.
Alderman Kleiner.
Thank you, Kevin. That's a good point. Jacob, I'm still hoping we can put warning stickers on the TV that people leave out and say, if you don't remove it within a given amount of time, you're going to pay a fine. And we could even put the date for the electronics pickup day, drop-off day, sorry. And if you're not going to the Narcan training on March 8th, I hope you come out to Citywide Watch. This is here at 7 o'clock. It's the first one of the year, and you know, we'd like to get an idea from people what their concerns are and what they would like to see, who they would like to have at the meetings, and you know, just get the input. ShopRite, of course, you know, not just at city events, but they raise money for vets, they raise money for recap, they raise money, they join in and help this community in every possible way. And we hope we will see them on April 23rd. I hope someone has spoken to them, but and I'm with Sue, I'm hoping that we can break the record and really get a lot of people out. We checked very carefully to see what else was going on that date, and there's no particular events. I think it's the second day of Passover. You know, you can't have everything trying to find a clear date. So we're hoping we'll get as many groups as possible and really get the community joining in. Two other things quickly. I want to thank Senator Bonasek. He has introduced a resolution in the Senate. It's been printed, it's in committee, to allow the small cities in Orange County to put sparkling devices back in the definition of fireworks so that we could regulate them. And I have spoken with Aileen Gunther's office. I've asked her, please submit an identical resolution in the Assembly. You know, the clock is ticking. What it would allow us to do would be to pass a local law. Well, the local law, there's a month's delay right there, no matter how quickly we move on it. So I'm hoping we could get it for this year, but if not, then hopefully we'll have it for next year because it's dangerous in Middletown. And we saw that last year. And finally, the resolution supporting the petition that the school board has asking the FCC to waive some of the regulations so that we can effectively track and deal with swatting. I hope we can do that unanimously. Thank you.
Alderman John Francois.
Thank you. Good evening. The DPW committee met this evening. We discussed request permission from New Beginning Church to close parking lot on Marbury Street for a special event that will take place on June 4th from 12 o'clock to 12 o'clock p.m. to 4 o'clock p.m. And also the event is going to take place in the parking lot, so that shouldn't affect the traffic flow in the area. So that shouldn't be an issue. And also, I would like to thank the Commissioner of DPW and also Kevin for the introduction of the MS4 program this evening. Thank you. Also, ShopRite, thank you for getting involved in the city. Thank you. That's all I have for this evening.
New business.
A resolution sponsored by Alderman Jean Francois to accept RBA Group as the consultant selection for the New York Rising project.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman John Francois, seconded by Alderman Johnson. Any discussion? Roll.
Rem Kassoon.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Jean Francois.
Aye.
Witt.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Johnson to schedule a public hearing on Tuesday, March 15th, 2016, to hear any and all persons wishing to be heard on the proposed amendment to the zoning code to clarify when boarders may be allowed to reside in residential dwellings.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Johnson, seconded by Alderman Kassoon. Any discussion? Roll.
Rem Kassoon.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Witt.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Burr to close Highland Avenue down to Wisner Avenue for the annual Middletown Little League Parade, which will take place Sunday, April 17th, 2016.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Burr, seconded by Alderman Witt. Any discussion? Roll.
Rem Kassoon.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Witt.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Witt to establish the 2016 Citywide Spring Cleanup Week.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Witt, seconded by Alderman Johnson. Any discussion? Roll.
Rem Kassoon.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Witt.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderwoman Ram Kasoon to authorize the Chief of Police to attend the International Association of Chiefs of Police 123rd Annual Conference to be held in San Diego, California from Friday, October 14th through Wednesday, October 19th, 2016, and this is a properly budgeted item.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Ram Kasoon, seconded by Alderman Burr. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Kasoon,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
John Francois,
Aye.
Witt,
Aye.
Kleiner,
Aye.
Burr,
Aye.
Massey,
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderwoman Ram Kasoon to authorize Officer Bailey and Reyes to attend the Child Passenger Safety Technical Conference to be held in Lake Placid, New York, on Tuesday, May 10th through Thursday, May 12th, 2016, and this is a properly budgeted item.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Ram Kasoon, seconded by Alderman Kleiner. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Kasoon,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
John Francois,
Aye.
Witt,
Aye.
Kleiner,
Aye.
Burr,
Aye.
Massey,
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey to authorize the mayor to sign a contract with the County of Orange for the Stop DWI enforcement period of March 14th, 2016 through January 1st, 2017.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey, seconded by Alderman Johnson. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Kasoon,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
John Francois,
Aye.
Witt,
Aye.
Kleiner,
Aye.
Burr,
Aye.
Massey,
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman John Francois to authorize the Middletown Industrial Pretreatment Program, IPP fee schedule to be added to the City of Middletown Code Fee Schedule, Chapter 490A-1, Section A, for the Department of Public Works.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman John Francois, seconded by Alderman Massey. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Kasoon,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
John Francois,
Aye.
Witt,
Aye.
Kleiner,
Aye.
Burr,
Aye.
Massey,
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Johnson to schedule a public hearing on Tuesday, March 15th on or as near to 8 p.m. as possible, Common Council Chamber, second floor, 16 James Street, to hear any and all persons wishing to be heard on the proposed lot line change for 2 to 8, 10 to 20 James P. Kelly Way.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Johnson, seconded by Alderman Kleiner. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Kasoon,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
John Francois,
Aye.
Witt,
Aye.
Kleiner,
Aye.
Burr,
Aye.
Massey,
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey to authorize the mayor to sign the necessary 2015 Service Award Program firefighter records listing form as per Article 11-A in the Service Award Program 2015 data request package.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey, seconded by Alderman John Francois. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Kasoon,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
John Francois,
Aye.
Witt,
Aye.
Kleiner,
Aye.
Burr,
Aye.
Massey,
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Burr to authorize Lieutenant Jeffrey Tholen to attend the 265th session of the FBI National Academy to be held in Quantico, Virginia, July 11th through September 16th, 2016, which charges to the city will be only travel-related, including auto expense and meals each way.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Burr, seconded by Alderman Massey. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Kasoon,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
John Francois,
Aye.
Witt,
Aye.
Kleiner,
Aye.
Burr,
Aye.
Massey,
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Kleiner, that the City of Middletown hereby supports the petition of the enlarged City School District of Middletown filed with the Federal Communications Commission addressing the swatting issue regarding Middletown schools.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Kleiner, seconded by Alderman Ram Kasoon. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Kasoon,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
John Francois,
Aye.
Witt,
Aye.
Kleiner,
Aye.
Burr,
Aye.
Massey,
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey to authorize the city treasurer's budget transfers within the 2015 budget to cover year-end overages.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey, seconded by Alderman Ram Kasoon. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Kasoon,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
John Francois,
Aye.
Witt,
Aye.
Kleiner,
Aye.
Burr,
Aye.
Massey,
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Johnson to authorize 3 change orders for the King Street project in the amount of $5,416.80.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Kleiner. Any discussion? Roll.
Rem Kasoon,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
John Francois,
Aye.
Witt,
Aye.
Kleiner,
Aye.
Burr,
Aye.
Massey,
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey to authorize the mayor to sign a preliminary application regarding the grant for the Woolworths project through the State and Municipal Facilities Capital Program selected by Senator Bonasek.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey, second by Alderman Burr. Any discussion? Roll.
Graham Cassoon,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
John Francois,
Aye.
Witt,
Aye.
Kleiner,
Aye.
Burr,
Aye.
Massey,
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Witt to authorize Officer McDonald to attend the 2016 New York State Explosive Detection K-9 Handlers Conference to be held in Saratoga, New York, on Wednesday, March 2nd, 2016 through Thursday, March 3rd, 2016, and this is a properly budgeted item.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Witt, second by Alderman Consoom. Any discussion? Roll.
Rem Kassoon,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
John Francois,
Aye.
Witt,
Aye.
Kleiner,
Aye.
Burr,
Aye.
Massey,
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. That is all for new business.
Audit.
Mr. President, I move the accounts be audited, the claims be adjusted, and the city treasurer be authorized to issue warrants for their payment.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey, seconded by Alderman Burr. Roll.
Rem Kassoon,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
John Francois,
Aye.
Witt,
Aye.
Kleiner,
Aye.
Burr, Massey,
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Need a motion to go into executive session for contract negotiations. Alderman Ray Consoom, seconded by Alderman Johnson. All in favor?
Aye.
We are now in executive session.